You get hey, what's up, guys? What's going on? Welcome back. Hope y'all are doing well. Wow, what an amazing match! That was one of the best matches I've seen in a long, long time. Kid you not, one of the best matches I've seen. I, I mean, initially, like my first instinct when I saw that this was Friday, I think, when I found out late that City were playing Chelsea or Chelsea were going to play City. I said, dude, I cannot miss this match. I didn't even look at what the other matches were going to be like. I didn't look at what Arsenal were going to be like, who are they going to play, Manchester United, who are they going to play, Liverpool, who I really, really wanted to follow. I really wanted to watch the Toulouse game, the Europa game, and I never got a chance to see it. God damn, that one pissed me off. I was just so busy with work, been working 6 days a week, so I had no time to watch that game. That was the game I wanted to watch. So when I saw Chelsea playing Manchester City, I said, I don't care. I don't care about anything else. I'm going to watch that game because I said either they're going to get wrecked, they're going to get obliterated by City, or there's a small opportunity that they might come out winning. And I think very few people thought that. I think the only hopefuls were Chelsea fans that were thinking, oh, they're gonna win. We have a chance because I don't know what they were gonna pull out of the rabbit. The reasons why they might beat City. There's no reason why anyone would think that they might beat City except just out of sheer dumb luck. And it wasn't that. It wasn't that. I thought maybe somebody might get illuminated, and there was a couple, mainly one, Sterling. I thought, man, he needs to get called up after this game. He needs to get called up because he's been having several good games before this game already. But this game just for me cemented the fact that he needs to be. I mean, I hope he keeps up the form to be able to play in the Euros. That would make me so happy to see the way he's playing, right? Obviously, that's the thing, because sometimes, they go into the clubs. There's my dad loves to say this, like there's some players that just aren't for the national team, okay? But yeah, he needs to call it up. He had an amazing night. So either someone gets illuminated, or 3, 4, 5 red cards sent offs for Manchester City, and that's how Chelsea were gonna win this game, or that's how Chelsea would have won this game. Because they were not going to get away with the one sent off and playing as bad as they did with Tottenham. They were not going to win that way with City. That was going to happen against City. That was not going to happen. I swear that I know for a fact that was not going to happen. And that, like I said in my last game with against Tottenham, I said that game doesn't really matter. Like Tottenham, you don't have to fret. Now I'm thinking maybe you do, but you don't have to worry about anything. You're going to be okay. It's Chelsea. If Chelsea thinks they're like rejuvenated, they're coming back, they're gonna start going up, like they're delusional, just crazy to think that you think you're gonna start playing well after this. And I've been proven wrong because they have, something did happen. Something finally made its way up there for these players, and they were just having such a great game. There were 2 players that pissed me the fuck off. Bro, I wanted to just yank them off, like take them out, take those 2 motherfuckers out. That pissed me off. Like I said this before, I'm a very unconventional footballer. I don't really talk. I don't really get excited when I'm watching a game, even if it's a really good game. Or recently, I might have gotten a little bit more animated when I'm watching a game. And this game, I was like grunting. I wasn't yelling, but I was I was reacting. I was getting triggered, and the times I got triggered were because Jackson and Caicedo, god damn, man, they just disrupted the flow of play that Chelsea were doing so well, and touching the ball and just getting, creating chances, and then these 2 dumb just end up like, disrupting, just intercepting. It's like, are you playing for Chelsea or are you playing for City, right? So, aside from that, I'll probably get to that later on. Chelsea just surprised me how energetic, how animated, how enthusiastic, how confident they looked. I know they're playing at the Bridge. That doesn't mean anything to me nowadays. You could be playing at home and still play, horrible. You could have a really, really bad game, but Chelsea were on top of it. The first 5-6 minutes of the match, Chelsea were doing something. They were getting close. They were actually on the box. I said Ederson's going to have a whole game where he's just going to be strolling. He's just going to be, I don't know, thinking about what he's going to have for dinner. No, they made him work. They made him work, especially those 6 minutes. And then little by little, that's when you saw City kick kick into gear, with their game, just controlling the tempos, making the opposition just like follow them and just kind of drive them a little bit crazy, with just eyeing the ball, just not getting any participation with the ball, and City were doing well, but then they flipped in on them. Chelsea were doing the same thing to City. Sometimes I just couldn't believe my eyes when I was seeing that combination of play between, Enzo, Connor, what's his name, Cucurella, combining and getting out of the midfield and beating that second line and, going up to the front and attacking and having a shot on goal. They had many shots on goal that it wasn't like they were getting close to scoring, but they had a shot on goal, which I didn't think was going to happen in this game. I did not think that was going to happen. And I was still, up to that point, I was kind of skeptical. I said, okay, yeah, they're getting close, but nothing's going to come out of it. And then, obviously, the penalty, which was... No, I was arguing with my brother about this. Dude, Diego, that was not a penalty. That was not a penalty. Stop. Anywhere on the field, that would have not been a foul. Because if you look at the play closely, it was Haaland that started pulling at Cucurella. And he's the one that pulled him away so he could make his way inside the box to catch the center. And when he did that, obviously, Cucurella was also pulling at him. But there's no way Cucurella is going to bring down this guy, Haaland. So Haaland pulled him. That was both of them like pulling each other, so nothing happened there. And obviously, Cucurella didn't see that Thiago was going to get the ball. He was going to get to the ball first. And ends up just wrapping his arm around, or halfway around his waist, which, yeah, you can argue you shouldn't do. But there was no... If you look at that closely... He was already going down. And he didn't tug him. He didn't pull him. There was no slowing him down. It was just Haaland knowing, I'm not going to get to the ball, but I do have a chance. Oh, hand on my waist? Of course, I'll be glad to lay down here. And giving I was hoping. I knew it was going to be a penalty. I knew when they stopped and they were going to look at the play. The ref didn't even go to the VAR, which he should have. But I knew even if he did, he's not going to not give that as a penalty. Of course he's going to give that as a penalty. I thought Chelsea were robbed. That was just a bad call. That's it. That was just a bad call. There was no penalty there. And I think anywhere on the pitch, that would have just been the ref allowing the play to go on, because both of them were tugging and pulling and no, he didn't pull him down. He didn't bring him down. That was just a bullshit call. But then Chelsea came back and answered with a really good and really bad marking. It almost seemed like City were doing what Chelsea would have done, and nobody marked Thiago. And really good header for the 1-1. I think that was the 1-1. There was so many goals. I mean, unexpectedly, 8 goals, right? 4-4, 4-4. And just Chelsea were just they were toe to toe, blow for blow against City. I was loving it. I was loving just that first half was just amazing. I couldn't wait for the second half. I was kind of a little bit nervous that, oh man, they're gonna let down. They're not gonna have that same intensity going into the second match and into the second half. And it kind of did almost look like that was gonna be the end of the Chelsea fairy tale story with the Haaland goal. Really, really, oh god, man, Caicedo just. Like I just can't, man. I just can't with this guy. Yeah, I don't know what he's doing, Caicedo, going off, and he's not athletic like Doku, for instance. This is the first time I've seen that guy Doku play. Very athletic, very lithe. He should have just tried to hold Haaland, because I think he has the necessary strength to be able to hold him down and just back him up. Just don't let him turn around. And you end up giving him I don't know why. You just end up giving him the ball pretty much, And this is a guy that cost you guys over 100. I'm sorry, but Chelsea are the worst team in the EPL. Let's be honest, because for that amount of money that you spend on players, and the way Chelsea plays, there's nobody else does that. Because not even the bottom of the table teams have that excuse. You can't say that about them. They haven't spent more than $500 million, and end up having trash players or end up playing trashy football. So it just you get someone like Caicedo, over 100. It's a joke. I just can't get behind that. Enzo at least had a decent enough game. I didn't like the fact that he was substituted. I guess it made sense, substitute him, but I thought he was having a good enough game, and I think he could have just played the entirety of the game. But Caicedo should have been taken out years ago. God damn, he just disrupted the play when Chelsea were having a chance to do something, and it's just passing, bro. That's all you're doing. You're just passing the ball. No one's asking you to run with the ball, and he couldn't even do that. And then you're giving that goal away. It's just it's I sound like a Chelsea fan. It just pissed me off. That's what I'm saying. I was actually animated. I was actually grunting, and I was actually almost about to scream. I was just infuriated with the way Jackson and another one, the same thing, trying to make a little nutmeg pass through, I don't know who it was, for maybe it was to Sterling, just disrupting and just cutting off that beautiful, fantastic play that you don't get to see Chelsea play. Chelsea don't get the opportunity to play this well, and this was the only time. And you have players like these. Again, maybe you have to give them time. Look at Connor, like I said. Look at Cucurella. It took over 6 months for them to start playing well. Cucurella, to me, just became, I don't know, man. I wouldn't go as far to say I'm a fan of Cucurella, but wow, what a warrior. What a warrior. Way to work, dude. Way to work. A little worker ant, this guy, Cucurella. He had a really good match. He had an amazing match. Just would not let up. Connor as well. Connor's somebody that, I absolutely love the fact that he was taking shots, and one of those goals came from the fact that he shot from outside. Keep doing that, bro. Very rudimentary. Just keep it basic. And of course, his work ethic. There's very few players in the EPL that work as hard as Connor, in my opinion. Yeah, just absolutely loved it. And the way he just stood in front of Rodri, just like, hey, not in my house, just like, not intimidated. Love that attitude, without being too like, clownish about it, without being too, pretentious. Really, really, really good. These two players just surprised me. Cucurella and Connor, great players. Sanchez was a little bit shaky. There was that center from, I think it was Silva, and he miscalculated the ball, everything about that ball. And luckily, Haaland didn't have a good enough touch and ended up kicking it outside. But had his touch been a little bit more, Zidane-ish, that would have been a clumsy goal. That would have been an awful way to concede another goal. So, man, it got me sweating just how animated, how this game was just insane. This game was awesome. I really did not expect it to go this way. I can't even remember the goals. Like, there's so much there that, like, the goals are just, like, kind of disappeared. I don't know who scored, when they scored. I know it was 4-4. Palmer was another one that at the beginning was starting to play well, but then there was lapses where he wasn't not just participating in the game, but he was kind of screwing things up for a little bit, to the point that I'm like, yo, you got to take this guy out. But then he got back on the horse and started playing a little bit better, got the penalty, obviously really well shot. Sometimes I don't know, sometimes the way he shoots penalties, I'm thinking he's gonna miss. Like, today's the day he's gonna miss, and I thought today was the day that he was gonna miss. Thankfully he didn't miss, because that was a perfect ending to this game. Wouldn't wanted to see City win this just because of the way they play. There's no justice in football. There's no logic in football, but it would just to end this on a perfect note for everybody, right? Just a 4-4, nicely ribboned and tied and packaged, right? So yeah, I can't think of anything else to say. Cucurella, Connor, Sterling, of course, a really good game. Enzo had a really good game. Caicedo and Jackson were the weakest things on that field today. Just absolutely horrible from these two. Oh God, just pissed me off. They really pissed me off. And for City as well, City with what's his name coming in. I don't like that. Well, I'm not gonna get into that about Grealish. Like, he's not playing that well, and you got someone like Doku taking over Grealish. I think Grealish was doing well enough. I don't know if he was having a bad game at some point. That's the whole problem with City that I don't like, which is also genius. It works out for them, and they can get away with it because of Pep. But you're having a really good season, and a really good game, and because of different tournaments, different tactics, you want to try different things, and they do work out. You end up taking what's his name, Mahrez out. You end up replacing him with Grealish, right? And it does work, but then it takes kind of the confidence out of the other player, and that other player, at least as spectators, and you're enjoying watching this guy play, and you can't wait to see him the next game. And he ends up just sitting on the bench, and it's like, why would this? Because this guy Grealish, Mahrez, wouldn't be on the bench in any other team. They'd be starters all season long in every tournament. I mean, once in a while they'd probably rotate him. And that to me, just personally, that's just that's just me nitpicking, I guess you can say. It does bother me somewhat, but it's amazing how they can get away with that. They can rotate to that extreme. And it's not only for a game, it's for a whole tournament. They're playing the Carabao Cup, and it's just Grealish is just going to play with that. the Champions League, it's gonna be Mars playing the whole Champions League. You get me? So it's I don't know. It sucks for as a viewer. It sucks for you as a fan. Like, if you're following a certain player and then they take him out, and you're like, why? I know tactics and I get it. And the team you're playing against, but what? Like, you should be able to. No, what? That doesn't make any sense. And then it kind of takes away the rhythm for the player. And then they end up believing. They end up getting, I don't know, feelings. There's ego also involved. So yeah. But as far as this game goes, fantastic game. I could just go on talking about it all day long. Made my day. I'm sure it made so many people's day, having such a really good game. Both teams, hats off to both teams. They played amazing football. The ambience, it was raining. It was just a perfect night for football. I am so happy. God, I'm so psyched. I think I'm actually going to go in and touch the ball a little bit. Yeah, just it made me that excited. It brought that, that kid inside of me. Just gave me, it just fomented that want to go and touch the ball a little bit. So yeah, so I'll leave it there, guys. Thank you so much as always, and I'll check you guys out in the next game. Yeah, peace.